When Daphne was assassinated, I felt angry, outraged even, and a deep sense of sadness and regret. I expect all fair-minded people felt the same. Looking back, I am struck by the fact that I do not believe I was shocked. Depravity and lawlessness was allowed to take hold of our country by cynical politicians and hangers-on who, for their own nefarious ends, reinforced deep divisions in society and exploited a toxic and combustible mix of greed, selfishness, lies, and blind allegiance to one political party and another. I admit that my initial anger and outrage has since subsided and has been replaced with a sense of despair and longing. Despair because the past few years have given us little hope that justice will be done, that perhaps those truly responsible will not be held accountable. Longing for the country I grew up in. We were not perfect. We had differences, and we were divided in some ways. But we shared Christian values, and we valued honesty, integrity, education, culture. Nowadays, I fear our value system has been replaced by an insatiable appetite for wealth, by consumerism. We neglect our Christian duty to care for the most vulnerable, sometimes in a way which may well be illegal. I am referring here to our treatment of migrants. As we stand here every month to keep Daphne's memory and her work alive, as we feel betrayed by the very slow wheels of justice, as we grapple with a sense that ultimately justice may not be done, as we long for a sense of peace and serenity in a society that has known little over the past decade. I ask you to stop and think of the society we would like to build. What future do we want? What legacy do we want to leave our children? Daphne's assassination was also a result of hate. A hate that was very visible. A hate that was stoked and manipulated to divide and rule. And so it did. It did so effectively that we are sadly often unable to recognize it in its different forms. It did so effectively that we often find ourselves trapped in a vicious cycle in conversation, on social media, and wherever and with whoever will listen. It is time to take stock. It is time to shift our discourse. It is time to lead the way, not with violent speech, but with speech that encourages debate. For there is a fine line between free speech and hate speech. Free speech encourages debate, whereas hate speech encourages violence. What can we do to engage freely, yet peacefully? How can we be the change we want to see? There is much that can be done at a national level to combat combat hate speech. Much that is out of our direct hands. So what I would like to propose here today is that we recognize the power of each and every one of us individually. And for us to do this, we don't have to look very far. I have watched and admired Daphne's children, husband, parents, family and friends standing tall over the past years, never succumbing to insults and maintaining dignity, whilst looking to pursue any avenue in the fight for justice. In their steely resolve and well-mannered disposition, they have shown us that they are not after justice for justice's sake. I commend their fight for our present and the fight for our future and our children's future. The fight to make sure that our society will look to overcome hate and division and never again witness another brutal assassination. Let us not give in to provocation. Let us shift our discourse, each and every one of us, with each conversation we hold, with each post or comment on social media. Let us not fan the flames of hate, but start slowly but surely rebuilding a society we wish to live in. Thank you.